gosh. Good morning, everybody. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Rumble, Erin's channel, Dr. Nelson's channel, and maybe I'll connect my channel. But here we go. And Dr. Kiltz is doing something special, going live. TikTok. There you go. So take it away, Dr. Nelson.
Good morning, everyone. May 30th. This is Memorial Day weekend, huh?
Oh,
right?
It is.
No,
that was Monday.
That was Monday.
Yeah.
This is
Never mind.
The week.
The week of Memorial Day. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Please put in the chat where you're watching us from or listening to us from. Where you're in the world. I am in Central Florida. Dr. Kiltz is in Florida. Alia is in South America. And Erin is in Tennessee. Just put in the chat where you're coming from. And what are we giving away today, Alia?
Kiltz Health Electrolytes for #goats.
Hashtag goats. We were debating which word to use from her name and YouTube.
Yeah, I'm in Sarasota today. We have a really fun-filled day, and
Yes.
we got some, new background working on it. I've got TikTok live. I don't have Instagram live. Were you able to get Instagram live on yours?
I can do it right now.
All right, if you can. And then I've got Kiltz Mighty Tribe on.
I have Instagram on my channel, but
all right. Well, let's let Erin hit it this morning because she's 5 a.m. and we're 6 a.m. So she's great. She probably gets up early anyway. Based on right. What's
a mother of many, so that automatically means she gets up early. So Erin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you are, and let's hear your carnivore story.
Okay. So my name's Erin, and I'm currently in the Middle Tennessee area. We moved here back in 2018, and hearing some kind of like back sound. Hold on.
Sorry.
Make sure you don't have another tab open.
I got everything closed. I'm good. Sorry, guys. Anyway, I'm a mom. I have 10 kids. I have 5 boys and 5 girls. My oldest is 18. My youngest is 2. I think my health journey probably started when I was about 15, 16. I was getting kind of pudgy. I'm thinking because I'm 5'4". I didn't weigh myself a lot, but I'm sure I was about 160 then. And I saw that my brothers were having more fun playing outside, and I would come home from school, and I'm pretty sure I was depressed. And I would sit and I would watch classic movies on TV and kind of like just chill from the day of school, because school is always loud and the lights are terrible and they never let you outside. And they looked like they were having a lot of fun. So I decided to learn how to skateboard, how to play, and is everybody hot?
We hear you.
We're listening. We're listening.
We got you, Erin.
Awesome. Anyway, I decided to play more, drink more water, just move more, and I lost about 40 pounds. I got a job. I later on, fast forward, I started riding my bike everywhere I went. Cat fight. Sorry. I'm popular in the mornings. And then I met my husband. He was totally different from me because I really like to just not go out to eat. I grew up in a large family. We'd go out to eat maybe on Sundays for brunch after church or whatever, but not like all the time. And he was like really into, let's try this place, let's try that place. And then when I was pregnant with my first, I put on like 60 pounds. And she was in okay birth and all that after that. But I was heavy and I never actually lost the weight from her. And then with my second daughter, she was a 9-pound, 11-ounce baby. And the nurse was like, let me look into your blood work. And she's like, you were kind of on the line for gestational diabetes. And I kind of was like, I don't even know what that is. So I don't really care. Because I was like 22 at the time. And I was just like, whatever. And with my third, when I was pregnant with my third, he was measuring a little big for 6 months. So they had me come back to take a 3-hour glucose test. It was like, you go in, you don't eat anything, you go in, you drink this horrible drink, and if you throw up, you got to do it again. So I had to like keep this thing down. They take your blood, you drink the stuff, you wait an hour, they take your blood again, you wait an hour, take your blood again. And then they call you with the wonderful news that you've got gestational diabetes. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So I started Googling it and stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And I go in for my first gestational diabetes appointment and they have me talk with the nutritionist. And she's like, what do you eat for breakfast? And I'm like, bagel with cream cheese. And she goes, a lot of cream cheese. And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, well, next time just use whole wheat and half the bagel. Not a lot of fat. You want to start eating better, like with whole foods and stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then you have to check your blood. You have to do a fasting check every morning, 2 hours after breakfast, 2 hours after lunch, and 2 hours after dinner. And they gave me this pamphlet. And it was basically like, I was like, oh, sweet, like a guideline sheet, how to like keep your sugars down. And you'll have like a good gestation with this baby. Okay, cool. So I go home and I follow this regimen and my blood sugars are like 140 and 150. And I'm like, and I go back and they're like, oh, you're kind of really high. Let's check. Let's see if we can get you on this glyburide stuff. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. How high do you would you like the sugars at? What I asked the nurse. And she was like, well, we'd like it to be at least 120. And then at night and in the morning fasting, at least in the 60-ish range. I'm like, okay, give me a week. Let me come back. Because you have to come back. You have to go in like every week or call in. And what I did was I started to get rid of all the carbs on the list that they gave me. And I started just eating vegetables and lots of meat. And that just kept my sugars down. And then after I would eat, I would walk, I would exercise. Used to have this video game system, the Wii, and it had a Wii Fit game. And you just exercise with it. And then I would take my blood sugars and it would be like, it would be like around 100, 112. And they were great. And that's what I did. And they ended up giving me a glyburide anyway, but they gave me like a super low dose, like a 1 milligram thing, because at night into the morning, my sugar would be up. And at that time, I was kind of like, how come they gave me this diabetes, like how to eat fit guide, and all my sugars were super high? Why did I have to hack it? And when I went in to talk to them about what I was eating, they were like, no. You need carbohydrates. In the morning, do like cottage cheese and do the wheat thins at least. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I try that. And I look at the recommended thing for the wheat thins. And they're like, I think it's like 18 or 20. I don't know. But I had that with my cottage cheese. And boom, my sugar was back up. And I was like, why are they lying to me? Like, it was awful. So I'm going to fast forward to like my 5th pregnancy. And when we went in to take the glucose test, my husband had that day off and came with me. And he was like, well, you go in, they take your blood, then you have to take that horrible sugary drink. And then there's stairs in the hospital. And I was just like, hey, let's walk up and down the stairs because you have to wait an hour. And that's what I did. And when they took the blood after that, and I didn't get a call back. And when I went back to my appointment, they were like, oh, no, you don't have it. And I'm like, I'm sure I've got it. So I just ate like I did with the kid before, just no carbs. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I was pretty much a carb addict because after I gave birth and had the kid and, breastfeeding and all that, I would just be hungry and peanut butter and jellies were easy. So, but I would also exercise after and I'd lose about 30 to 40 pounds for each kid. And fast forward to 2016, before I got pregnant with my seventh, I was feeling kind of pudgy. I used to walk all the time with the kids, and I heard that if you join the post office, you lose like 40 pounds because you're going to walk like, 20,000 steps a day or something like that. And I was like, if I'm going to lose weight and stick to it, I might as well get paid for it. So I joined I joined the post office. I lost 40 pounds, but I was in so much pain. I had like plantar fasciitis when I started. My feet were horrible, and my back and sciatic problems, all that. Like at the end of every day, I would be walking like was 90 years old, and everybody would be like, "Are you okay? Did you fall?" And I'd go, "No, I'm good. I'm good." And it was so bad that I actually went to the doctor, and she was like, "We can give you a cortisol shot, or here's a book on all these stretches you can do." And I'm like, I'll take the book. They took my blood and my urine, and we found out we were pregnant. And I was like, oh, awesome. And then when I told my supervisor at work, they moved me to one of the bigger stations where you would have to drive 2-ton trucks, stop at the little blue boxes, and grab mail every day. And that's what I did. But I was eating like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, drinking tons of water. And it was always 2 hours into every time I had to walk or drive. I was so hungry. And I'm like, ugh. So I just ate the same food as I did when I was walking every day. And I gained all the weight back. And and then he actually, with that pregnancy, I didn't have gestational diabetes with him. And with the next one, I tried to do as many squats as possible with the glucose drink, and I didn't do enough. So I was like on the line, like I was with my second pregnancy. But this time they were like, since you're on the line and you had it before, we're going to go ahead and do the gestational diabetes thing. And I was like, shucks, now I got to like have my finger poked like all the time. One of these days, I got to do math on that 5 times, like how many days in gestation weeks. Like that's a lot of poking and checking your blood. So with her, I was talking to the diabetes nurse, and she's like, I don't even know like what you would eat. I would hate to have diabetes. And I'm like, that's nice to say to people. And she was like, well, I guess you could like eat cheeses and nuts and things. And I was like, oh, I could probably add in peanuts and stuff. That's cool. And I added that into my diet. I didn't gain much with Scarlett. She was fine. Like all my births, usually the average is about 8 pounds, 14 ounces anyway. My heaviest was 9 pounds, 11 ounces. And under that was 9 pounds, 8 ounces, which was my 2018 birth. He was different because we were moving from Dayton, Ohio to Middle Tennessee because we wanted our area was getting kind of bad. So we decided, it's time to pack up and move. My husband has family farmland. Let's do it. We've already got illegal chickens in our backyard. Let's just go legal. And we moved down here, and the houses here, there aren't any stairs. So I went from like doing laundry in the basement and running up and down stairs all day, because that was my like favorite exercise, to like these houses that don't have basements. But we have a lot of land and a lot of hiking land, and we got goats and chickens, and it was fun, but also I was stuck at this like 230 pounds for like 4 years at that time. Like I haven't lost that 30. And then I'm going to just go ahead and fast forward to my last one, number 10. I was like on the line, but a little bit before the line with the glucose test with her. And I was like, I asked and begged, and I was like, you know what? Please, please, please let me do the gestational diabetes thing. Let me test it all the time. Let me call in. Let's do all the things. And they were like, well, since you're not on the line, we'll still get you a new monitor. You can text it, but we'll just watch it in the office. Well, this little baby decided that after all the other ones that I had, she was going to be the one that wouldn't turn the right way in the womb. So I had to have, because she was getting very stressy in there, because she wouldn't turn. She was more horizontal than vertical. And I had to have a C-section. I never had one of those. And I just remember looking in the side reflection at the hospital, looking how big I was. And I was like, dang, girl, did you let yourself go? I am not a really nice looking pregnant lady because I always put on about 50 pounds. And what was really interesting there, they needed to put like an IV in me, and my veins were like crap. That they had to get a specialist in, tie my arm up here, tie my arm down there, just to get my vein ready to put the IV in my arm, because they couldn't find it. That's how bad my veins were. I do have a varicose vein on my left leg. I did have surgery in it back in 2016. They got rid of my greater saphenous, but they couldn't get rid of the really big one that I have. And I'm glad they couldn't get in there anyway, because we found out we were pregnant like a few weeks later. So it probably would have been a good. They like laser. I had a laser surgery done in my leg. It was weird, but it was a lot of pain. But anyway, let's see. The last baby, Raquel, I was sitting on the couch. She's about 4 months old, and I'm watching a homesteader channel, and the guy goes, "I'm going to do the carnivore diet," and I was like, "Carnivore diet? What the heck is this?" And he's like, looking really sad as he's eating steak, and his kids are like eating, I don't know, biscuits and gravy or whatever. And he's like, well, I hope this helps for my tick inflammation. He had some kind of Lyme disease or something. And I was like, carnivore diet? How are you going to poop? Like, kids, come here. This guy is going to die on TV. Let's subscribe and watch. And I start like talking about it, but I don't really know much about it. I knew I've heard of keto. I remember a conversation with my mom about keto. Like, keto seems hard, doesn't it? And she's like, yeah, it may be expensive. And we were just like, yeah. And we never talked about it again. So because I brought up carnivore and I was kind of making fun of this guy, my phone picked it up and it started to suggest Dr. Berry videos. And I really didn't have a lot of people I was subscribed to at the time on YouTube. So I was like, well, if I'm going to make fun of it, I better learn a little bit more about it. And then I got hooked. He was all explaining the carnivore diet, and I'm getting my notes out, my pencil, and I'm writing everything down. Like, I want to try this. He's like 30 days, 30 pounds, and I don't have to exercise. That's all I saw. So I took February 2023, and I decided I was talking to my husband about it, and he was like, is this going to be expensive? And I was like, no, we'll just like buy extra ground beef when we're at the store and stuff. It'll be fine. And we have eggs from the chickens. And if we run out of meat, I can eat the eggs. It works. And he's like, okay, cool, whatever. And then my girls were like, you're going to die. You're going to have a heart attack. Boy, don't do this. Don't leave me here with all these kids. I don't want to clean. I'm like, I'll be fine. It's only 30 days. 30 days is like a blip in time. It is nothing. Everybody's always like, I'm getting rid of carbs, blah, 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 30 days, I can't do it. And I'm like, it's nothing. You can do anything. Bodies are amazing. Anyway, so I start carnivore March 3rd of 2023 because Lent was coming up, and I was like, that's my thing. I'll just give up carbs. It'll be great. So during all these pregnancies and stuff, if I'm not nursing, pregnant, or nursing or pregnant, I'm prone to have a couple beers at night. I liked fermenting. I like to make my own beer. It used to be like a fun little project until one time we put too much sugar in them and they started to explode. So I stopped doing it. And I was like, well, I'll give up the beer too. It'll be great. Because I can recognize now from looking back that 4 to 6 beers a night to help you fall asleep isn't a good thing. So I'm pretty sure, but I could quit like easy, but I'm pretty sure I was possibly an alcoholic. And I'll admit to it too, because I also know now that I was a carb addict, and that's carbs. And I was using it as a crutch for my anxiety, which I had, which was really bad, but I never talked to a doctor about it. And I had depression, but I always wanted to save face in front of the kids. I made a mask all the time. I was always happy around them, made sure that they were doing good and everything was done for them. But man, anyway, so day 3 into the carnivore diet, I wake up and I'm like, there's no pain in my knees. What is this? I'm like, what's a 300-pound woman, and I'm just like gonna do squats and stuff, like, and it doesn't hurt. I'm going like all the way down the ground, back up, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? My knees have hurt ever since I stopped skateboarding, and I figured, I was like later 30s. This is your knees are going to hurt. That's what everybody complains about. Like, oh, my knees or my back. And well, a few days later, I wake up and my lower back pain is gone. Now because I am not the strongest person in the world, I've had a ton of epidurals. So when they went to do the epidural for my C-section, the anesthesiologist was like, dang, girl, you've had about 8 of these. And I've had 2. I wanted to try no epidural birth, and I've done it. That was my 7th. And that was an interesting one. I mean, you can do it. People are really strong. I'm not. I'm pretty weak. But anyway, some of the things that happen is that you could suffer lower back pain. And I do, and I did. And I woke up and it was gone. I usually woke up and I was really stiff and had to kind of like roll out of bed to get up. But now I'm just like, I'm doing this jumping out of bed type deal. And I'm like, what is up? So everybody goes, do your research into carnivore, do your research. And they're always talking about this anti-inflammatory stuff. And I was just like, that went over my head because of my brain fog and how I've been my whole life. So I was just like, oh, this is interesting. Like, I got rid of carbs and vegetables and I'm feeling great. What is this? And so I stuck to it. And when I got to my 30-day, I weighed myself. I lost about 30 pounds and I was like, score. And I did not want to go back to vegetables and carbs. Now, I wasn't super serious on it. So when I got to 30 days, we usually make homemade everything because like all the crap and everything. And my daughter made spaghetti and she was like, try some of this. And I'm like, okay. So I ate some of this spaghetti. And not even 30 minutes later, I felt like I was stoned. Like it was bad. I was like, is this what everybody feels like all the time? I don't like this feeling. I do not like it at all. It was awful. It was like zombie feeling. And I'm like, this is what everybody feels like. So that was like, nope, no more carbs for me after that. And then my parents in May of that year were having their 40th anniversary. And I was like, this will be great. Everybody will notice that I've lost 50 pounds. Because at that time, I lost about 50 pounds. And
Wow.
we get to their anniversary. And I run into my sister-in-law and she's like, what have you been doing? You look good, girl. And I was like, you noticed. And I told her I've been doing this thing called the carnivore diet. And she's like, your brother does that. And I was like, no, he doesn't, because he still drinks a beer. What I found out on carnivore is that when you eat till you're satisfied, you don't want the alcohol or the beer because you're full. Beer kind of is filling, but full, you don't want it. And there's no reason for it because you don't need it. And I wanted to tell him about that because he's like a war veteran and he's had some horrible stuff happen overseas in front of him. So he kind of he uses it as a crutch like I used to use it instead of going to the doctor and talk about depression and all that. I'm glad I didn't because they would have put me on like a ton of medication. I don't like pills.
Did we lose her?
Oh,
Oh, she's here.
am I here?
You're good. We hear you now. You're here now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're here now.
But anyway, I run into my aunt and uncle from New York. They came down to surprise my parents, and they were like, "Hi, how are you?" Blah, blah. And I was like, "I've been doing this carnivore diet thing," and they were like, "Carnivore diet? We're on it too." My aunt had type 2 diabetes. She had suffered a stroke and had to stop working, and she had to. What happened? Everybody left.
Don't.
Someone
You
in the
can
background
play.
playing with it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
She had to retire, and what happened when she went carnivore, because her left side, I can't remember if it was left or right, but she was like, I couldn't turn my head, I couldn't move my arm up and down. She's showing me she's doing all these things, and she was like, all because of carnivore, keto and carnivore. And I was like, that's amazing. And then she was telling me about all these people I need to follow and watch, and I'm like, I gotta write this down. I know what I'm doing great. But there, it was like a partying atmosphere. So I tried like this little thing called a dirty margarita. And right away, I had this horrible headache and it did not leave. And we had to leave early at that party to go back home. And that's like a 5.5 hour drive. And the whole time, my head was killing me. Because I'm not a pill popping person, so I won't take aspirin for headaches or whatever. So I was just like, why? Never again. And then let's see, in that summer, I was like, it's the summer, the kids are home. I'll try to drink beer again, to relax at night because it's a little crazy here. And I did try, and I tried, but I couldn't. Like every time I took a sip of beer, I was just like, oh, this is disgusting. And I started pouring it all down the drain. And I was like, I'm never drinking this stuff again. It doesn't make me feel good. I feel better on carnivore. And that was like my big epiphany moment. Like, hey, I don't have to drink anymore. That is awesome. I don't need it. And I love that about carnivore. And I started to get more serious into carnivore around August. And I've been really good ever since. And when my brain fog started to actually lift, I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? It took me about 6 months because I was experimenting. I would watch people on YouTube be like, after a few weeks on carnivore, try something else and see if it feels good, if you feel good the next day or something weird. So like I made these homemade sauerkraut, which is delicious if you try it on your own, not out of the can in the store. But anyway, I put some on a burger patty, and the next day my knees were hurting again. I was like, oh, I guess I can't eat this. Sucks. But my kids like that stuff, so they ate it. And I thought that was weird. And my husband likes to eat out still. And I just keep talking about how great I feel on carnivore. And my kids and stuff were getting really lame about it. They were like, quit talking about it. It's so annoying. And I'm like, but I don't know what to do. And then my daughter was like, well, you do have a YouTube channel. Why don't you just start doing that again? I was like, well, I guess so, because I feel good. I might as well tell people about it. And then I was like, well, isn't it kind of taboo that you don't eat vegetables and you don't eat all these carbohydrates and stuff and fruit? And she was like, yeah, it sounds crazy. I'm like, yeah, but it's working. It's kind of weird. And I had an old goat YouTube channel, and I decided that I was going to use it. And the whole reason my channel is called Booby Goats, we were taking care of goats, and the 3-year-old was watching the baby, and I hear her singing, and it sounded like she was saying, booby goats, make your life come true. And I was like, I need a name for my YouTube channel. And I was like, that's going to be it. I'm going to use that. And I was talking to Old Guy Carnivore, and I told him that story, and he was like, what do you think she was actually singing? She was 3. And I was like, oh God, she was probably saying baby goat.
Oops. That's hilarious.
Erin, So you did something on your own many years ago, many pregnancies ago, and God bless you for having so many kids. It's not something common today, but uh, you realize on your own that the diet that they were telling you to follow for gestational diabetes was actually keeping your blood sugars higher than when you cut the carbs. And so at least you had that in the back of your mind. Then you started the carnivore diet years later, trying to lose weight, and then you realize your brain fog went away, your chronic pain went away. By the way, plantar fasciitis for 35 years. I don't even know how soon it went away because I didn't, you know, I'm not having pain anymore. I'm walking normally, but it is a painful thing. Nobody ever dies from plantar fasciitis, but the pain is killing you many times, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So your knees, uh, I mean, how many overall at the moment, how many pounds are you under? How many pounds do you lose?
I've lost about 80 pounds. And then I put on a little bit of weight last time I did butter, bacon, and eggs because I was actually lifting weights too. So I've got a
Okay.
lot of extra skin, but I got a lot of muscle now. I can take so much.
That's good. Uh, but that was your main reason for doing it, but wasn't the greatest benefit, right? I mean,
It was so weird. It was like I went in for weight loss and I stayed to be pain free and just to feel really good because I feel good all the time. And I want to portray that on my YouTube. Like I'm doing all these things and I can do all these things because I'm not in pain anymore. I'm not in this dark cloud place where I'm just inside my house cleaning all day and I don't want to go outside because I'm so busy. Now I'm outside and doing things. And it wasn't like that before. I don't have any depression or anxiety anymore. The clouds have moved and lifted. I am now a new person. I am totally a new person. I love this new person. I live in the moment. I'm surrounded by chaos and I absolutely love it. And
Chaos has been good.
like,
and
oh my gosh, just go to bed. I need a beer, type deal. But
one
no,
more question
no,
before
I'm
we take.
enjoying it. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say one more question before we take some of the questions. Uh, what do you keep goats for?
I originally was going to keep them for milking purposes for the
Uh,
kids because they go through like 6 gallons of milk a day. I probably just
uh,
hear you.
Wow.
okay.
In 2020, they started to get out because I got a couple of free goats and they taught all the other goats how to escape. So we had to hurry up and sell them. So now I've got to buy new coffee guide and it's for secret goats. I am saving up. They got a little expensive and I've got all the fencing. So
All right.
it's got
My father grew up on goat's milk, raw, almost straight from the goat. Anyways, let's take some questions, Alia.
Sure. First, I want to say Haley says she just subscribed to Booby Goats and will be binging your channel later. Yay. Okay, so this is for Dr. Nelson. Joyce, I was on 25 milligrams of some medication last week, was taking 45 milligrams of potassium, Celtic sea salt, BP down, cut meds in half, 2 days, leg swelling. What is recommended for potassium and sodium?
Dr. Kilt, I know you're working on your stuff there. Let me ask you something. How many milligrams to the point do you take of sodium and potassium a day? You keep count, right?
No, mute. Still muted. It's muted here. He needs to mute it and unmute in
There we go.
StreamYard.
I got two mute buttons. Am I?
Oh, okay.
You got me?
Yeah, you're good. No, you're
Erin,
good.
this is amazing. Your story is fantastic. We're learning so much. I measure nothing. I just I have no idea, and I think measuring macros is misery.
It is.
Yeah, you know. I mean, do you have to measure everything out for your children every day? I mean, what other animal is searching for how much do I consume? What's the right amount? Oh, what's your omega-3 to 6 ratio? I'm like, I get a headache.
All right. So obviously, salt your food. I don't know if you need to. I understand you're taking a hydrochlorothiazide, which is a diuretic. Right now, it's more important than you. Blood pressure is normal, and if you do notice that salt increases your blood pressure, some people are sensitive, especially when you're not following, uh, when you're following a standard American diet. But I don't know, doesn't mention exactly if you're strict carnivore, you're still having carbs, you cut the meds in half. Oh, blood pressure is down. So that's the best thing. Your blood pressure is coming down. You don't have to be a strict measurement, doing strict measurements of the salt you're taking. Salt to taste, make sure that you're not being sensitive with your blood pressure to the salt, because a few of us are. I used to be sensitive to sodium. I'm not anymore. So hydrochlorothiazide is an okay medicine to use for blood pressure. I prefer to start with others, but it's standard medical treatment. Eventually, you'll have to come off of that, by the way, I think, because your blood pressure will hopefully continue to come down. Dr. Kills, you were going to say something.
Yeah, basically the carnivore diet, it takes away all the poisoning of our body, which is plant and low fat. You want to eat the fat, get rid of the plants as much as you can. Ketos get better, but carnivores get cured. And that's really the big thing that I've learned. And I've had high blood pressure. I've been on all the drugs, and I've never, ever felt better in my life.
So the potassium amount, I see it's okay. Actually, the average is less than that. So anyways, hope it keeps getting better. Next question.
Next question. Elkie, how old is Erin now? I'm sure her children keep her so young.
I just had a birthday. I'm 40.
Congratulations. Yay.
Young. Awesome. Happy birthday. Getting younger every day. Most important thing. What has been the most important thing in your life that you look at and are so proud of?
My children.
Of course.
Yeah. Julio's my grandson, just born about 3 months ago, almost 4. And what a blessing for sure. And I think that we're seeing so much infertility, menstrual irregularity, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, uterine fibroids, and male and female fertility issues on the rise, which is secondary to plant protein low-fat diet. And I was walking downtown yesterday, and just kind of a nice outdoor place. There was an ice cream place. Lots of kids were going there, and they have the cornhole game.
Mm-hmm.
And the cornhole game, it says Bud Light. So we're brainwashing our children from an early age that basically alcohol is okay, and we're just all buds together, and let's just all do this together. In fact, where have you found alcohol in your life, Erin?
Where did I find it?
No, how do you find it today? What's your thoughts on alcohol? Is it good for us?
No, it's awful. It's poison.
Yes.
It's fermented. It messes up your stomach. It rises your cortisol. It makes you more anxious the next day. It makes you feel like crap. But it's awful.
But hasn't it been sort of normalized and healthy for us? And it's just part of, hey, a healthy, good life.
Yeah, it smells disgusting. I don't like it at all.
And the American College of OBGYN and even the American Medical Association will claim that 1 glass a day for women and 2 glasses of wine a day for men is healthy for you.
Oh yeah, the heart healthy.
Right. But we know it's not. And can you enjoy life alcohol free?
Oh yeah, and it feels great, especially when you get rid of all the vegetables and carbohydrates.
Which are fermenting in our gut.
My really bad veins that I had, now they stick out of my arm. They're real easy to see because of carnivore.
Awesome.
I had to
All right.
Question.
Lindsay asks, are your kids carnivore?
The younger ones are because the baby especially, she was at 5 months, because she turned 5 months when I started, exposed more to carnivore. I also noticed because of nursing her, and she's never had a rash. She's never really whiny or anything. She's actually a really pleasant child to be around. The 3 youngest at the time that were with me, they always eat carnivore because that's what I eat. I feed them what I feed them. And then I tried to transition them as much as I could because I felt so good that the older ones, since they were exposed to the other stuff, they know what it is. But the rest of them, I mean, kids are kind of easy. You can just feed them bacon and eggs and they're good. My kids love hard-boiled eggs, so they're always in the fridge. And who doesn't like a steak or like hamburger? Come on. So they're like, we tried in March to do carnivore, and their plate, it was kind of funny because they would look at it and be like, just meat and butter, what is this? And so I had to like we did a little bit of fruit for them, and we did cottage cheese because it kind of looked like a third thing on their plate with like a bunch of meat. And that's what I've been feeding them for a while. And they, the older ones, when they complain, I go, hey, if you want to buy the food, go get a job. You know, that's what that was going to be. Got to be kind of tough.
What do you have there, Dr. Kids?
Oh man, this is the health food of the universe, right? It's a beautiful fatty tomahawk ribeye, and this is today's meal. This is all. It's got all the minerals, vitamins, and it has no toxins. There's no toxins in it, right? That like a cow didn't say, let's make toxins so they don't eat us, like all those spiders and snakes and frogs and things, but said, this meat's for you, right? The master meal is fatty meat every day.
You have any more questions, Halia?
We got tons of questions. We got really questions about how to get kids transitioned over to carnivore, how to get them off, like, are they going to go through withdrawal symptoms, how to do it. So let's take up some of those questions. How to help kids transition without hard detox symptoms? First, I don't think kids are going to have hard detox symptoms. They're super resilient. They'll just eat it. Just don't have the food. What do you say, Erin?
I agree. Just, who doesn't like scrambled eggs? I do have a few kids that don't, and I have to make like some ones, but cook them in like a ton of butter and season that with, add cheese to it. My kids like cheese. I add cheese to it for kids. And bacon, man. Who doesn't like it? And then the ones that don't like it, give them sausage. Give them steak and eggs. That's pretty good.
My kids are literally taking this out of the office every day and looking at the recipes in the back and telling me we need to make this today. So this is Dr. Kiltz's book, Babies is for Babies, and they're trying to get me every day to cook something new out of here. So it's so easy. It's easy. Bacon is the solution for sure.
I mean, ultimately, we're all carnivores.
Right.
that's our biologic nature, and we've just been fed like pigs, cows, and sheep, and so that damages our brain, makes us addicted, gets us completely off kilter, and so there's a transition. It's like you take the plate away with the salad and you put a steak, and
Yeah.
there's the transition, right? Remove one and plate another. Simple and easy, right?
Plus, kids hate vegetables. They hate them. They won't eat them. We force them to eat them.
I used to take my vegetables and hide them in my shirt pocket and take them. And my mother caught on eventually, but and then if you think about canned peas, canned vegetables, the sugar's added to everything, right? So
right.
it's changed everything. So it's a little crazy. Next question.
Exactly. Don Hoover, my daughter has 7 children. Give me the most economical approach to this way of eating. Erin.
What I love doing is going to stores and looking at when the meat expires and then going back like a day before and seeing if they mark it down. And they do. And I go for it. I buy markdown meat all the time. I look for that. But another way is that if I can't find markdowns, I go to like big box stores, the ones like GFS, Gordon Food Services or whatever. They have like these huge 10-pound chubs, or maybe more than that. I never actually looked at how much they weigh, of ground beef, and I buy that up all the time, and it's like what, maybe $90, and I can feed my whole family for the week. It's nice. And then I also have chickens, so I don't have to buy eggs. I don't know if egg prices went down, but honestly, eggs are really cheap. Ground beef is usually really cheap if you're looking. You gotta look and you gotta find the deals. Simple.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense.
And a box freezer, and go to your local rancher, start making some deals, look online. There's sales of beef all the time. And if you take the beef and you grind it yourself and throw in some organ meat, it's even healthier. And then you can make it a family affair where you get it, you cut it up, you package it, you freeze it. There's so much to do out there, but the processors do an amazing job also.
And I want to plug this little app. I use it to shop the sales from home. It's called Flip, FLIPP, and it gives you all the local stores to your area, the circulars, the special sales, and you can look up, go on and buy wherever you want, whatever you want. I mean, is it really more expensive? No, because you're not buying every time you go out the $10 coffee special with this milk and that, which are not really milks, almond milk.
Almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk.
Yeah.
Gross.
And you don't think about this. Almost $10 for a coffee, and then you always have to have the donut with it, right? And then you stop to pour gas and you buy some candy at the convenience store, and you end up spending so much money. And even if you're buying healthy vegetables, how many of you buy a lot of vegetables and probably asking the wrong crowd, but and they go bad. Mm-hmm. They go bad because you don't use them quick enough. Right. So you end up spending a lot of money on the other stuff that you either buy that you don't need and you don't buy anymore if you're a carnivore, and you're spending a little bit more money on more nutritionally dense food. That's the main thing.
And the junk foods, or we don't say junk foods, and the carbohydrate plant boxed foods like the candies and the chips.
It is crap food. It's junk food. Yes.
Yeah.
And the supermarkets throw out a tremendous amount of food. Think about it. And because it goes bad, especially in the produce section, and it goes right to the compost heap to make methane gas, which is what we're making in our gut via fermentation. So You know, we're making beer in our gut also, by the way, when we eat a high plant protein, low fat diet. George Rosansky on Kilt's Mighty Tribe, he bartered services for a quarter beef from a customer. And so, you know, he was a farmer. Let's see. Nicole Gillespie, I care for my in-laws and they won't switch to carnivore. I spend more on their groceries than mine. Well, they will switch to carnivore. You just have to keep going. And then maybe it's like, hey, they ran out of the vegetables and fruit and the box stuff looked horrible. I can only get you meat. I'm really sorry. But that's all they had. Meat, the master meal, right? Meat, my food.
Meet my food. Papa Carnivore, how do you balance working at the post office and also raise your kids? Did you have help at home?
I did. My mom watched the kids and then she looked at me and said, you know, I've raised 9 children. I don't want to raise any more. And I was like, that's cool. I'll quit. And I did. I stayed at home after that.
Great.
It was really hard. Honestly, it felt like I was stay-at-home parent because my husband would work nights. So I'd work during the day. I'd pick up the kids from my mom's and then I'd go home and have to like do regular mom stuff. And that's hard. Especially with the like 6, 7 kids at the time. It was like really hard, especially when you're like super sore, your feet hurt, your back hurts, you still got to do everything. And I was like, man, single moms really have it bad. Like,
yeah,
I could not do it. So I kind of broke down. I was like, you know what? I lost the weight. I gained the weight back. I'm gonna quit. But I stayed home.
Again,
I really didn't balance it at all, Peter. Not at all.
there's no balance in life. You're on the razor's edge, essentially. You're, and we're always moving. And flexibility, and it all happens the way it's supposed to. Do you utilize any other spirituality, faith, or other support in your life?
I am Catholic, so yeah, prayer. Prayer is a good thing. Meditation, love it. But man, I feel really good on carnivore too. I was always like, I want to be like those people that are always feeling good, and it's probably the church. So let's go back to the church and feel real good like them. And I never got that until I did carnivore, which is kind of like it was a weird rebirth of being a person.
Christ is a Lion King. He's a carnivore. And that's what he was working to teach us. He didn't say eat the grass and grains. He was inviting the sheep to come back to the lion's way. And that's what Christ Carnivore is all about. And I think it's critical and important to have some faith, some spirituality as really the foundation of our lives.
And he was always preaching love, and I feel so much love on carnivore.
Love.
I really do.
Love. That's 1,000,000,000% infinite. I've got live on TikTok today. I haven't done live before. I have no idea how to answer anything. So I don't know if anyone's in this and moderating it. Maybe we get some team members help on that at some point, but Kiltz has got to get younger in order to, and he is, by the way, on carnivore. I've never felt more amazing. Like I'll be 70 in March. It's like I keep on looking. It's like something's wrong here. I feel about 10. What's that?
I was like, where's the walker? No.
Yes,
yeah.
Walker. And I was at a healthcare seminar, really great. And the conversation is about lots of aging people coming up. We have to figure out ways to care for them in a box, right? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Our job is to help our brothers and sisters get younger, get out in life, do blogging every day, hang out with Erin, Dr. Nelson, and Alia, and realize that simply eating meat is the healthiest thing to do. This is who we are. It's like simplicity, right?
It's crazy simple. Like, what? I was always like, I'm so dumbfounded by it. Every day I'm dumbfounded by it. It's so simple.
It is our man. And so tell me a little bit about the healthcare of your life, your children, your family. Have you found that in general you're healthier and you have more natural ways that you heal?
I am. I feel great. I just feel so good that I wanted my kids to feel good. And when I changed their diet, they're less crabby, less cranky. They like to help out. It's freeing, really. And when we go to the doctor, we usually just go and get stitches and stuff now. It's not a preventative care. I don't need to do that. I'm doing it now, feeding them meat. Like nobody's ever like rashes, like Flash, my son Flash, he's like blonde, really pale, always had these red rosacea like cheeks all the time, like he was almost like he was slapped all the time, and it was from carbs and just vegetables and all that. Once we got rid of that, he's such a sweetie. He likes his cold butter on his steaks and it's gone, and he's doing great.
Love it. Marilda would really like us to answer this question. Had a heart MRI yesterday. Wow, it was 2 hours long. Does the contrast used affect my carnivore diet?
No.
Okay.
It makes it better. You'd be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, the mind is the master. That's number one. We always want to give good thought to all things, period. Because who creates everything? God. God always knows what God is doing. That's the most important thing I found. Give good thought to all things.
Great. Should we take one more question? Let's take one more question and then we will do the giveaway. Oh, by the way, hashtag goats in the chat to get into the giveaway. Joyce, I heard for menopausal women, me postmenopausal, all this fat is not good for us, defeats weight loss. Your thoughts? Dr. Kiltz, you got a good answer here. I know it.
Eat the fat suppresses inflammation, and inflammation is the cause of menopausal symptoms, not loss of estrogen. By simply getting to a fatty meat of bacon, eggs, butter, beef, salt, you will heal. And we're not supposed to be skinny. Sorry, that's deadly in a famine. And we are used to infinite famines, and it's coming. And so, but I would say again, defeat weight loss. I mean, why would you want to be skinny in a famine? Nobody wants to. It's deadly, in my opinion. Love the body you're in. And as you go carnivore, okay, if you are carrying extra weight that is weighing you down and you're like, well, fatty meat. That's it. It satiates. You're not hungry. And you're not because cows and sheep eat all day. Lions eat kind of like once a day or every other day. Erin, do you have any other ideas on that?
I mean, I came into this diet to lose weight, but I just feel good. Like, honestly, throw the scale away and enjoy it. It's okay.
How old is that
Love
one?
that.
How old is that one?
This one's Rocky. She'll be 3 in October. Oh,
Hey, Rocky!
Oh, hey, Rocky.
Hey!
Is she your youngest?
Yep.
Yeah.
She was a little petite baby, but since going carnivore, she's super tall now. She's super tall.
Love that.
All right.
Okay, hashtag goats. We're doing it right now. Hashtag goats.
Go.
Share screen.
Woo!
Let's see, where are we? Here we go.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. Marilda, congratulations.
Hey, Marilda.
Yay! Please email me your address and phone number at alia@drkiltz.com and I will get your supplements, your Kiltz Health Electrolytes sent out to you. Congratulations.
And I want to thank everyone for being here today. And I mostly want to thank Erin for sharing her story. And your story is critical here. And so if you simply send a message to Ali at drkiltz.com, is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
AliaDrKiltz.com.
And tell us your story. We're documenting these stories because Healing Humanity, and you have to go to Healing Humanity also with our beautiful, amazing community to grow and share these stories around the globe. Without your story, and so to our TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. And again, we're just here to bring all of our brothers and sisters to a whole new light, and sharing with our children and their children, a story that we can recognize we're in control of our healthcare, not the healthcare system. And we're sharing ideas, and we have to make it more affordable, accessible. Even ability to get some Western medicine needs to be a way that's more community around the globe. That's it. And even if there are some people that may need some extra help, our communities need to build that in our local families for all of us. Yay!
Are we doing a selfie?
No, I'm just trying to. So we got all of us together. Yeah. Well, I
got it.
I don't know what's trying. Oh wait, it's trying to. It's saying that I don't exist here.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's got all sorts of things from inactivity. But again, appreciate you, Erin. Any last words before we go?
Just try your best, be happy, and enjoy your moment. It's a beautiful moment.
It's a beautiful moment. All right, all.
Goodbye, everybody. We're ending the live stream.
Have a good
See
day,
y'all
everyone.
later. Have a good
Love you.
weekend.